Hello everybody, I'm back once more. You may recall from where we last left off in part 1 that I was running Zap the Thaumaturge, and it hasn't been too long since I last played, so let's see where it can go from here. Let's finish exploring this floor I think I had, and down we go. Ah yes, this is a scenario where I like to call, Are You Feeling Lucky? See, I could easily kill this guy because I can use, I mean, he's a basic kobold, he'll probably die in 1 or 2 hits, and I have Mephitic Cloud, so I can always disable him. This guy is a zombie, which means he has a health point bank. He doesn't regenerate at all. I can eventually kill him, and this rat, but it may take a long time. I don't know that mana will last me. And further, I have a wide open area, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 other ways in, so God only knows what I'm waiting for me if I run off into the edge. I really want to know what this staff is, however, because it could be something that'll help my magic a lot. If you're feeling lucky, you can attack these guys and, you know, back off as needed and hope for the best. If you want to go ahead and play it safe, and I would like to show you guys playing it safe rather than playing it lucky, what you're going to do is attack the nearest guy and then draw the other one upstairs. Oh wait, it's a zombie, it won't come upstairs. Draw the other one upstairs would be the trick. Well, I guess I'll just do the opposite. I'll stay here, and when I get weak, I can go upstairs. When you draw him upstairs and he follows you up, you can beat him up in the safety of your minions from the other floor. I'm going to do that not to the rat, but to the imp. Hey imp, follow me upstairs. Now he's here, where me and my skeleton buddies can beat him up together, as opposed to me having to fight him one-on-one. Very helpful little trick. My god, either the hippogriff is immune to poison, which I doubt. Nope, it just got lucky and didn't get confused while it was in the cloud. Another reason why you want to make sure the cloud is well powered. Oh crap, see that giant eyeball? It can paralyze you in place. But this is see what could have happened just as easily. I come in here, I start doing my little dance, and I retreat towards the opening hall. I retreat right into a paralyzing eyeball, which then proceeds to kill me by locking me in place while I'm beat up by everything else. Staff of Enchantment. Staffs of Enchantment boost certain types of spells. I'm not quite sure which types of spells, but I think like hexes and the like, or is there an enchantment school? Definitely not conjurations, and definitely not anything I intend to use very much of, but it's a staff. I'll use it because it's more wizardly. I don't intend to use any stabbing. Back off while attacking, standard tactics. I still have 20 mana, which is very healthy, so I'm going to go back in. Notice that priests are always my first target for Mephitic Clouding, because the most dangerous early game spell is their smite. They can do 17 or so unblockable damage, very painful, definitely not something you want to have to deal with. And they can be entirely shut down by making sure that they are confused. Very susceptible to poison, so yeah. And let's just keep going and, you know, knocking them out one by one. I have the same logic with wizards that, you know, as long as he's confused, he can't shoot me. So even sometimes when there's, you know, no, well, you should be just fine, you should be just fine moment, I'll go ahead and be extra cautious. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. More food. Bread is very heavy. I'm going to actually pull up the AMU on this bread just so you see that. Bread weighs around 8 AUM, or arbitrary units of mass. To give a comparison, my staff, which you would expect to be a relatively heavy weapon, or a heavy item, weighs, where is my staff? And what are these rings? I haven't identified my rings? For shame, I must not have played a good game last time. Resist mutation and Ring of Magical Power! Ring of Magical Power extends your mana notably. This should help me a lot, actually, given how much I've been running out of mana against bigger foes. But, like I was going to say, the weight-wise, All of these 19 steel darts weigh 0.9 AUM put together. My staff It's not listed here, is it? Magical devices, jewelry, armor, missiles, potions, magical staves. There it is. 13 AUM. In other words, bread weighs almost as much as my staff. 2 pieces of bread outweighs my staff. Books are also rather weighty. This book of Ashinzari's Handbook of Culinary Necromancy is 7 AUM. Thing about books is, you can use a book to forget a spell and memorize a spell. Why would you want to forget a spell? Because you have a finite bank of spell points, and when that's out, you can't memorize any more spells. So, you might eventually be compelled to be like, I need to get some of those back. I'm gonna hold on to these books till I find a safe place to keep them all. Oh, whoa. Mephitic Cloud is now at Excellent. Because it's at Excellent and the casting is solid, I'm now going to disable air magic. I could disable poison magic. I don't think there's any other good poison spells in the game that I'm going to be getting. Actually, I'm more likely to get good air magic, so I should keep that up. But basically, I could disable both these schools now if I wanted to. And it wouldn't be a big deal, because I will do that. Until my Conjurations hits like 9 or so, I need to focus and channel as much to it as I can. Stabbing is useless. Alright, here we go. As you guys probably can tell, I'm getting a little bit bold now. Perhaps bolder than I should be. Bumblebees can poison you, but they are also vulnerable to poison. So, because they're vulnerable to poison, it means they're vulnerable to Mephitic. Because they're vulnerable to Mephitic, it means they're pretty easy to deal with. Just Mephitic them, and then blast them. First I blow them, then I poke them. Bastard won't know what hit him. Notice that if I keep chaining it together, I can make sure that that guy never gets enough awareness to come after me properly. And when he dies, he joins my ever-growing army of the Undead. Which, by the way, you get credit and you get credit for both experience and for piety when your allies kill stuff. Otherwise, these guys would be chaosing me like crazy right now, and it'd be a problem. Yay, level 10! Hurrah, hurrah! Ah, crap. That's twice he's resisted the urge to become confused by Mephitic Cloud. This guy may be immune to poison for all I know, because he's basically ignored multiple clouds in his face. This is where Spriggan speed is helpful, because any wizard could have cast the Mephitic Cloud. Oh, by the way, you're gonna love this, watch. I'm cornered, right? Blink! Ha 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 ha! Important to remember the spells at your disposal. No, I don't understand how he survived all those Mephitics without getting poisoned. He should have been poisoned 8 ways from Sunday. I mean, confused. Oh well. New robe, wonder what the robe is made of. It is a +1 orcish robe as opposed to a +1 ordinary robe. Elven is a great modifier for spellcasters. Don't ask me why, I don't really know. I'm assuming because elves are like good at spells. Yeah, that is another one of the creatures which is faster than me. And creatures which are faster than me require extra caution to make sure that they stay well Mephitic. Because if they get at you and they poison you or whatever, they can hurt a lot. Come now, let's see what's next. Why do they keep saying that? I guess not every corpse leaves behind a thingy. Okay. I'm now overloaded. I am critically overweight. I need to drop something. By now I should have found the Ecumenical Temple. In fact, pulling up a map of my dungeon, the Ecumenical Temple is guaranteed to be between floors 4 and 7, and I am on floor 8 and I still haven't found it. This is not acceptable. I'm going to go looking for it now. I'm going to drop right here Ashinzari's book, which I have no need of until I eventually decide to learn a spell. I have a Wand of Frost What else should I drop? I actually should figure out what my ring is doing, so I'm going to identify the copper ring on my hand. Oh my god. So Rings of Slaying give like bonuses to your hit and to your damage. This gives me +7 damage. That is a huge buff if you're a melee fighter. If you're not a melee fighter, it's beyond useless. So I should drop it. I'm going to hold on to it because I don't have another ring. And I just drank a potion of poison, so buoy for me. I am no longer overloaded, so I'm going to go upstairs and go looking for that temple, because I know I left it somewhere. This floor is fully explored, partly explored, can't reach some items. Where can't you reach? In order to enter this mode where you look around, hold shift and press X, or capital X, and then you can hold shift to jump like I am. Nope, there's obviously nowhere to hide a temple in here, so I'm going upstairs. You may notice that my poison meter is draining me down fast. That's not a big deal, because unless I get attacked by something that deals me damage, I should recover by myself. I can always use a potion of healing if I'm wrong. Okay, here's the problem. This is 1, 2, 3 disconnected areas by the looks of it. There might be a staircase that leads somewhere into this black area. If I have a scroll of mapping, I do not. Okie dokie, let's go up a floor. And try each of these staircases in turn. Nothing. Okay, let's try going upstairs. Nothing. So it's not on the 4th floor, it's not on the 5th floor, it's not on the 6th floor, it's not on the 7th floor. My guess is it's in a disconnected area somewhere over here, and the only way to get in there is going to be clever teleportation or digging. Now, unless this is a wand of digging, it's not. It was in fact a wand of fireball. Well, today's just my lucky day, and now I'm hungry, so I'm going to go ahead and eat bread, and then I'm going to go back downstairs. So, there is no temple that I can reach in this run of mine. Normally, the temple is a great place to store your extra goods. I don't have the luxury. I'm going to keep looking until I find a place that I feel safe keeping it. Remember that stray monsters can pick up your stuff and move it if they have, the hands and the know-how to. What I'm going to do is to drop my books here on top of the altar of Sifmuna and close the door. So creatures won't get into it to eat it or anything, and with any luck I'll be able to come back for them if I should need them. Maybe I should actually carry my book of magic with me just in case. I'm paranoid. I once had a slime find my stash and eat everything, and that kind of taught me a lesson about being more careful. But I do need to lose weight. I'll drop 10 of my steel darts, just trimming down the edge, I guess, and quaff the big potion. I don't know what it is. And I'm not going to need a potion of invisibility, but I'm going to keep it anyway, just in case I come up with a use for it. Scroll of amnesia. I'll save that for when I need to make a technical decision. I am no longer burdened. Let us keep moving. This weight management is something that pretty much every wizard has to do, and no non-wizard has to do. It's actually one of the few things I really hate about playing a wizard. Okie dokie, let's see what comes next. See, those slimes freaking eat anything they find. Ooh, you look like a troll. How very droll that you're a troll. I am witty. Mephitic Cloud is, as you can probably tell, a wizard's best friend. And it's not just by playing a wizard. If you start the game as a air mage, I forget what they call them, elementalist, whatever. If you start the game as an air mage, or you start the game as a poison mage, or you start the game as a wizard, or I think even just a conjurer, anything but a fire conjurer pretty much, you will have Mephitic Cloud in your very first spell book. So it's like the game designers knew this is a spell that you really, really need in order to play well. And so they made sure that no matter who you start with, you're able to get your hands on the spell, if you're playing a wizard. And you'll also notice that in this entire game, I have found one book, and that book only had one spell in it. I did find that store with more books, but I didn't find any money of note that I could use on it yet. How the heck did I gain throwing skill? I'm not interested in throwing, it's not useful to me. Or short blades. I could keep training fighting to get a bit more HP, but that's a real bleed on my experience gain, and I don't want to bleed experience. At this point, I still desperately need to raise the amount of damage my main attacks are doing. I'm using like 4 to 5 darts to attack just, basic enemies. So when I attack enemies like that Goliath beetle, I'll run out of mana, and I can't afford for that to happen. I'm going to pick up a quick blade. Quick blades are beautiful for stabbers, kobolds, spriggans, and the like. And, yay, my first book! I wonder what it is. It is a book of power. I lucked the hell out. Okay, sorry about that. The Book of Power is the best book in the entire game once you hit this stage of the game. Bar none. I don't care what other people say. The second spell in it, a Secundarun's Mystic Blast, is a single school spell, just conjurations. It is a level 4 spell, not a level 5. This means it is relatively easy to memorize, relatively easy to get reliable, and does a ton of damage, and only costs 4 mana. I am immediately going to memorize this spell, and notice that I already have Excellent, even though I haven't specially trained for it. It's basically a super powerful version of my Magic Dart. I'm also going to go ahead and switch it so that you can hit the equal sign to switch which hotkey is which. I'm going to switch it to B, because I'm used to hitting ZB, whatever, when I need to do more damage. Sorry about that. I think my mic may have acted up. But anywho, yeah, now that I have this spell, the game is going to be a lot simpler. I'm going to go ahead, and if there's an enemy that looks particularly damaging, or I still have a lot of, I'm not worried about conserving mana, I can always go Z, B, bang. And notice how it does drain my mana 4 at a time. Actually, how much hunger am I taking from this? Strawberry level hunger. That's a decent amount. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing. So I should be a little bit careful. I mean, I don't want to be trigger happy with it or nothing, but enemies like this, which before would be able to get to me and deal me serious damage, now I can just hurt them. And notice that my piety is slowly but surely growing, because I keep using conjuration spells to deal damage. Also, worshipping Vehumet gives you a bonus advantage that your conjuration spells automatically are more likely to succeed, and you have more of a insurance against failure. I now have a Scroll of Blinking, which is considered one of the best escape scrolls in the game. So this is beginning more and more to look like a seriously effective game for me. Also, notice, I guess you guys wouldn't know this because you can't see me pushing the buttons. So let me point out that I have another hotkey for right brace to do ZB. So, that way it's not something I can easily reach. I have to actually spend a moment to be like, do I want to use more mana on this attack? But if the answer to that question is yes, then I can easily select my second tier spell, whatever that may be. Also part of the reason why I make sure to put my spells on the right buttons. Against a water moccasin like that, who's faster than me, I open with Magical Blast, because I know that I'm going to need to kill him before he kills me. Interesting. Fox is a conjurer just like me, except he's immune to Mephitic Cloud, and I'm not, and he has Mephitic Cloud, so if I'm going to fight him, I'm going to fight him by the staircase. That way I should be able to retreat the moment my health goes too low. Instead, I managed to kill him because I just kept nailing him with Magic Blast before he could do anything. Orcish Mines, the fuck, I'll risk it. Okay, not a good start, because notice that these guys can knock me down 24 to 30 health instantly. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cast Mephitic Cloud on him, then I'm going to go upstairs. These guys followed me, well and good. If I blink, there's only one square I can see, so it will take me here. That is actually not a bad idea. I'm going to do that to get out of the way first. Then, crap, wrong button. I meant to use Mephitic Cloud, but if I use it in melee range, I'll be confused too. Okie dokie. They're all dead. I'm alive. That's a good trade-off. Let's go back down. I have almost full mana. Okay, let's open with a Mephitic Cloud that hits the majority of them. Notice that all that damage came from being smited, pretty much. I nearly died on the way back up. That was not the best move I've ever made in my life. I don't think anything followed me in, though, because my Mephitic Cloud probably stopped them. This is the problem with the Orcish Mines. It looks like one of the easiest areas to get into, because it's one of the first areas you'll find. It is, in fact, one of the hardest dungeon branches, because stuff like that happens all the time, and you have to survive it somehow. And the hardest enemies aren't even on that floor. I had games that have lasted, like, more than 12 hours, where the strongest enemy I met during the course of the game was on the lower floors of the Orcish Mines. But now, I ended last section of this this playthrough by saying that I haven't yet got to the point where the game's on autopilot. Now I would say I've gotten to the point where the game's kind of on autopilot for a while. I have strong spells that let me deal with a lot of situations. I have decent escapes. I have a decent amount of healing and magic, and a few escape buttons to get out of jail free cards. So, with just a little bit of not overextending or doing anything stupid, there's no reason I shouldn't be able to survive for quite a while. For those of you who are curious about like intermediate level play as opposed to just beginner, my primary goal right now is to continue leveling. Obviously, that's key. I now have enough. This spell is strong enough. My spell set is strong enough to last me through some of the deeper branches of the Lair. What I'm working my way up to is that I want to be able to resist poison. Once I have that, I can clear out the hive and the snake pit. I'm gonna drop a bunch of remove curse scrolls and a few identify scrolls, since I clearly don't need to carry all of my identify scrolls on my person. Again, normally I would stash this in the ecumenical temple where no monster is allowed to spawn, but no point in that now, because I wasn't able to find it this run. Oh yay, another book! I wonder what that one is. Notice that I've had one bit of real solid luck this entire game, and that solid bit of luck was finding that one book, the power book. And thus far, that hasn't even made or broken my game. Everything else that's happened thus far has been basically me just using the book I started with pretty effectively, and a few items here or there, but nothing that you wouldn't expect to have in an average run of the game. Alright, let's see what's in this book. Book of Warping, including Dispersal, Phase Shift, Passage, Recall, Warp Weapon. Okay, Recall is useful. Recall instantly makes all of your minions come to wherever you are. I'm going to memorize that just because I'm obviously summoning a fair number of minions, so I might as well have the spell to maneuver them. Other than that, though, none of the spells that I can... I guess Teleport Other would be nice as another Berserk button, as a get out, something's chasing me that I can't get away from, get it out of my way. I'm going to say no to it, though. Venom Bolt is good too, but I'm going to say no to it because I already have a level 4 damage spell, and a level 5 damage spell that's restricted to poison only isn't really that great. So, where to next? So watch, if I'm going to cast Recall, boom. Wherever I am, I now have an army at my disposal. And if an enemy tries to get within melee range of me, I can use this and then immediately hide behind my nearest minion, who will trade places with me. Okay, the reason I keep getting overburdened is these wands weigh a lot, so let's figure out what these wands do, and which ones I really want to hold on to, and which ones I don't. Wand of Draining and Wand of Cold are extremely powerful. Wand of Frost is a low level comparatively, so I'll drop that. Hill Giant. Would be terrifying. And because Mephitic didn't work, it is terrifying. I'm going to bail. Notice that my minion got in the way for me. Allowing me to again Mephitic, but this time recall as well to block him from getting to me. There we go, he's now confused. Now I'm not scared of him. And that time I pretty much only used my second level attack because I knew he has a lot of HP to eat through. Alrighty, I wonder what this is. Read... Where are my scrolls of Identify? Did I drop all of them? I thought I only dropped a few. Whatever. It's a trinket. Store abilities. She is a mage ogre. Very scary. Very good to Mephitic ASAP. She didn't fall to it. Now she fell to it. Good. Oops, I accidentally picked up her flesh. I didn't mean to do that. And I wanted to wear that robe, but apparently I picked it up before. I mean, apparently if you resurrect her while she's still putting the robe, she resurrects with the robe. It's unfortunate, but whatever. Come on. I'm tempted to make another attempt at the Orcish Mines because I don't like leaving that entrance empty. But last time I did that I nearly got killed, so I'm going to make sure I have all my ducks lined up. When I come out, all these guys are waiting to block them so they can't chase me out. And I'm going to quaff a potion of invisibility first so they can't see me when I enter. Notice that they don't know I'm here. That's key. Because when I launch Mephitic Cloud, they're all going to know that the one dangerous target is going to be confused. And now, this half hasn't figured it out yet, they're going to be confused too. Everybody get confused. Let's go ahead and, boom, start picking off targets. Notice that they're all attacking each other too, because if they're that close, they're just as likely to wander into each other and hit them. Best potion of invisibility I've had in a while. Or rather, most effect. And now, usually I'm going to raise a skeletal army on this floor, you know, to ascertain that I have a little bit more control should I need to instantly summon an army for my defense. Okie dokie, I'm not going to push deeper into the Orcish Mines. That's a death trap in and of itself, and without some way to dig, you end up very restricted. Maybe later I'll explain, you know, FAQ on that, but not now. This book I have no interest in. Literally nothing here interests me in terms of getting any good at. Some of these are really good for necromantics, but I'm not a necromantic primary, so I'm going to drop this book altogether. Book of Alchemy. And I'm going to eat a bread ration because my fullness is below very full. Remember, normally you would want to ration that, but because I'm playing as a Spriggan, the only thing I can eat is permafood anyway, pretty much. So using your permafood is just a way to lose some of the weight. Okie dokie. This kind of thing usually comes around the lair. I'm guessing the lair is nearby here. And you can tell because there's a lot of animals and because there's a lot of wildlife, and it's a pretty distinctive look. Once you know this look, you'll know the lair's nearby. Only thing is, thus far there's been pretty low level enemies guarding the way. Occasionally there are drakes or dragons, so I'm being a bit cautious, but not too cautious. No need. And the reason I can afford to be a little bit less than cautious is because I have so many escape buttons. It's not like I'm likely to wander into a death trap. Another wand, and this one is it's probably a wand of confuse if it doesn't work on plants or control enemy. I'll wait till okay, time to make some magic. Let's begin by using a Wand of Draining and hit all these enemies with it. You know that my first instinct is to use my Mephitic Cloud, but at melee range I'll suffer as well. And I got a bunch of kills from that, so round 2, same weapon, same targets, and again. Massive, massive kills all around. I've thinned out their numbers significantly. Time to back off a little. I'm overloaded, so I'm going to quickly drop the heaviest item I'm holding. That way I'm a little bit more flexible for the rest of this fight. Not sure what... You know, I'm just going to drop my staff. It's not helping me any. I will still be overweight, but not by as much. And now I can get a Mephitic off to at least, you know, to hamper their charge and get some kills off of my own. Wands are great for handling surprise situations. Normally I wouldn't have used it quite as much, but there's a very real sense of I don't know how many orcs there are. It looks like there's more than I'm going to have enough mana to deal with, and sure enough, my mana is whittling thin. Always save the last 3 for Mephitic Clouds so that you can get away. Or blink, or whatever your escape is going to be. Because the longer you can hold on to those scrolls of blinking, the better. And I'm not training evocations, so forget that. Wand of Cold. Magic Dart is out. And he is chucking things at me. By the time he comes, I should be able... Why won't you die? I should actually just wait till I have 4 and then use Magic Blast on him. That's what I'm going to do. There we go. Thank God Uruk hasn't seen me while I have no mana. I'm going to retreat from him, steadily raise an army of the Undead as I do. And now I'm going to have my own little army because I've killed so many goddamn orcs. And also, while I'm here, I'm going to recover my mana too, so it's not like I'm going to do nothing. But it costs 1 mana per orc that I'm resurrecting. So, there we go. Rest up. And what is my armor situation? I have armor, a cloak, and a wizard hat. Nothing enchanted, nothing great. I do need poison resistance. Have I found anything that resists poison in this dungeon? Oh yeah, that's right. Last time I played, I found that store that had those great items for like 1,000 gold. I'm not even close to the amount of gold I need yet, but I think there was something for like 700, so maybe if I go to the Orcish Mines I can get some money. Orcish Mines is a great place to get money. It's also not a safe place to go until you've cleared, you know. It's harder than the Lair levels 1 and 2, for sure. Wow, wouldn't you believe that? First hit. The best part of playing a wizard is you get a real sense of power. Like, I can kill things from distance and comfortably, you know, peg them over and over and there's nothing they can do about it. And I really like that feeling of watching your enemies fall before they get to you. Oh my god, it's a freaking Cyclops. Well, I guess that calls for our good old friend Mephitic Cloud. And our second best friend is Sekundurun's Magic Blast. Very powerful trap. I'm glad I learned that more often. I'm going to turn off the School of Necromancy. 4 levels is quite enough. My spellcasting and conjurations is where my power comes from. I think damage output goes up with conjuration, so this is the key. And dodge and stealth are my survivability. I could add more eventually, but I'm waiting until I at least find a spell I like to start training for it. And I'm sure you guys are beginning to get a sense now how these, how great it is to have these pets roaming the dungeon. they randomly show up and help you out a fair amount just by being in the way, getting in the way of your enemies. Ah, crud. I'm gonna bail. I can't kill a slime with 8. Actually, with 8 mana, I can probably kill a slime. Can't take them both on, though. Something is shooting electricity at him. Okay, Uruk is dead, and with any luck... Nope, he didn't leave behind a corpse that I could reanimate. That's a shame. But Isekundrun's Magic Blast means I can one-shot these eels. Now, I want you guys to understand something. Very often what will happen is you won't get Isekundrun's Magic Blast from a book that you found by this point. It's called getting really unlucky, and it happens. When that happens, it's not the end of your game. You can still kill stuff. It just takes a lot more shots because you have to keep using Magic Dart. At that point, I strongly advise you pick any alternate school that you come across. So if that means if you come across a fireball, or a level 5 fire spell, or a level 5 poison spell, take it. Because you need a higher damage output for some of these enemies. I'm getting very careless right now, and whenever you get careless in this game, that's when you lose the game. Ideally, what you want to do when that starts happening is take a break and come back to the game later, when you're willing to give it more energy. Like, I shouldn't walk up to a shark at half health right there. I mean, there's no reason I had to. I could have waited till I had full health. I haven't secured a good source of food yet for this game. And as a Spriggan, that's always a concern. Because notice that all of the chunks I've been getting are inedible. They're meat, and meat rations are obviously inedible. I have enough bread to last me for a very long time, however. It's nothing critical, but it's on the back of my mind at all times. Ideally, I should secure the hide. And once I clear it out, the royal jellies and the corpses and the bumblebee stuff will last me a lifetime. But I have to get there first. If I find a single... To give you a perspective, if I find a single bread ration, that's usually enough for like 5 floors. Even while I'm casting these spells that have a slight hunger cost to them. Partially because I prioritize spell casting so high when I play a wizard, to make sure that the costs stay down. Sorry, it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on here. There's too much stuff on the screen at once. I'm going to just go ahead and head downstairs now. Oh, crap. Joseph is a tall bounty hunter, quite resistant to hostile enchantments. Let's see how he fares against Mephitic Cloud. That will be my measured man. Okay, he is susceptible to Mephitic Cloud, and therefore he is of no concern. Because no matter how much damage he does, I can always run away from him and peck him with that. So let's just go ahead and kill the iguana. Upstairs, privately, where I'm not likely to be interrupted. Eat, because my hunger has gone down. I'm just trying to get mana back, but my skeletons are too busy trying to kill stuff, which is slowing down the game. Now that I have mana back, let's kill Joseph. Aww, poor little guy got his face blown off. I don't need either of these, so I'm just going to resurrect him, and hopefully, yes, he carries his sword with him. Great. I now have the skeleton of Joseph on this floor. Ideally, I'll get a necromantic book later that will let me do area effect resurrection, as opposed to having to go up to each individual corpse. But until that happens, I'll just be content with my level 1 spell that I got for free. I think spiked toads are immune to Mephitic, or at the very least they're pretty much immune because it never hits them. So they're always a bit more of a priority target for me with my higher level damage spells. When you don't have Isekundrun's Magic Blast, a single spiked toad can keep you running a long time. That's why it's so great to have this little entourage, because I can always just do this and retreat to within my ball. And while you won't usually get all the spells you like at once, you usually get enough to make do. And of course, guaranteeing starting with Mephitic Cloud in one of your books is, you know, key. At least if you're playing the way I play. And we nailed Joseph pretty hard because I have an Armada to fight with me. Now notice that none of my minions have health bars. That's because what happens when you resurrect into zombie or undead form or whatever is your health gets buffed like 20% more or whatever, and locked. You never regenerate again. It's not exactly a plus and a minus, it's pretty much totally a minus. And it makes fighting undead a lot easier because you can always woodlet them and keep retreating. It makes using undead as minions self-limiting because they will never be more than meat shields. They're not going to last forever. Yay, more bread! I am in the game again. A wand of slowing. I don't have a spell to slow. I don't think I have a spell yet. I need to drop stuff again. Okay, so this is another great floor to store stuff on because the only thing that's allowed to spawn in the lair of beasts are creatures and, you know, beasts as the name might imply. And of those creatures, slimes I think only will ever spawn on lower levels, so you don't have to worry about your stuff getting eaten either. The reason I'm so concerned about being overburdened is because it decreases my speed, which is my absolutely critical survival mechanism. Second, speed means that I'm moving faster, means that I'm consuming less food per square of movement, which is very helpful. Not something I exactly want to see gone. So, this is where I'm going to set up my new stash. Oh my god, a basilisk. I've never seen one before. And it looks like it dies very easily to high level spells. I'm going to buff my strength one more time, and after that I'm going to start buffing intelligence again, because you'll notice I get passive intelligence buffs just for being a wizard. I'm going to drop all my books here. Anytime I want to memorize a new spell, I can always come back here to my School of Learning. I'm going to keep all my healing potions, because you never know when you're going to need to use all of them. I'm going to drop my Potion of Porridge, so in a pinch I won't starve to death. And my Restore abilities, because if I need to restore my intelligence, I should be able to come back for that. Potion of Brilliance will be useful in a pinch, so will Resistances, so we'll keep all of those on my person. Scroll of Enchant Armor, I can save that for when I have armor. I can always bring it back for upgrades. What else? I shouldn't need Steel Darts anymore because now I'm rocking wands, and wands are better overall. Draining, Fireball, Cold, Slowing. Slowing is for utility, Draining is for damage output, Cold is the same as Draining, Fireball is area effect. I really don't need Cold and Draining, but I'm going to keep them both because I would like to have the extra ammo. Magic Mapping is a very special utility. I save it for the Orcish mines usually, so I'll drop it here so it doesn't burn later. That's it. Are there... What rings have I found? There's an unidentified marble ring underneath this. This is the beauty of a Control F search, by the way. I search for a ring, it shows me all the rings. There's apparently a ring on Dungeon Floor 11 that I haven't identified. Oops. Yeah, Dungeon Floor 11. And that is underneath this toadstool. Now, how would I ever have realized that if I hadn't, you know, basically looked? I wouldn't have... So now I'm going to go back there, find that toadstool, and beat it up. I think I should... Yeah, okay, good. I can use my blast against it. Let's see just what it is that I found here. Also, I'm going to find... I remember how I dumped my scroll somewhere. I'm going to go back to that temporary stash and pick everything up now. Because I can now transfer it to my real stash on the first floor. Uncursed Ring of Protection from Magic. Potions of Degeneration. Well, I don't need to degenerate, but I'd be happy to put on a ring that protects me from evil magics. And you can use capital G for quick travel. So I'm going to travel to the Lair. Drop 4 scrolls of Identify, 3 scrolls of Remove Curse, 3 scrolls of Detect Curse, I should actually identify that unknown spell. It's probably a Scroll of Fear or something. Nope, Cursed Weapon. And since I didn't have a Curseable Weapon, it didn't get activated, so drop that too. And all of a sudden, I'm no longer even close to overweight, which is really nice. Wow, there's a lot of unresurrected skeletons. I saw another book. Where are the books that I haven't picked up? Pick up the Book of Alchemy and the Book of Culinary Necromancy, which I left. Oh yes, I kept a stash underneath Sifmuna's statue. I'll take it all now because I don't need a safe. Now that store that I found a long time ago, I would like to go back there because I remember it had some really good rings, and I have like 700 gold. I would at the very least like to see what that market had to offer, so let's go back. Ring of Wizardry, Poison Resist, Cold Resist. Ring of Poison Resist, Intelligence Boost, Accuracy Boost, and Stealth Boost. They're both really good to have, like, bluntly spoken. And if I come up with a better ring, I'll wish I hadn't bought it, because then, you know, I could have bought something better. 2 levels of Resist Cold would be very useful, but I need the Resist Poison urgently. Bottom line. I'm going to start fighting snakes pretty soon. And Int +3 is always useful, and Accuracy is always useful. So I'm going to go with the ring that I can actually afford right now. And later on, hopefully, I'll come into money, either by a Scroll of Acquirement or by raiding the Orcish Lair. So now, I can use a Ring of Magical Power combined with a Ring of Intelligence, Accuracy, Stealth, etc. Notice, by the way, that because of the bonus 3 to Intelligence, I now have 0 hunger for my level 4 power spells. That is huge. It means my at-wills no longer are gradually going to starve me to death. Basically. This is a phenomenal plus for me. Let's head back to the lair now. And dump the remainder of my heavy load. I no longer need these 2 books to be on my person. And notice, when I'm standing above the books, if I hit capital M, it will list every spell I have access to in those books in order of ease of cast / memorization. Oh, actually, Iron Shot is a very powerful conjuration spell. It's a level 6. I will need a level 6 or level 7 blast at some point. But it's only fair, and I don't feel like training Earth. It's a pretty dead-end school. I'm going to memorize Slow, not because I need it, but because I have 25 spell levels and this costs 2. And if I find myself in a situation where I need it, I will be much happier I memorized it. Odds are very good I will end up dying before I use all these spells. I am now immune to poison, or resistant to poison, which means I can now do this. Attack her with Mephitic Cloud at point-blank range and not risk taking any backlash. Unfortunately, the snake is also immune to poison, probably. So, only half useful. Alrighty, and on we go. Now, when I hit Lair 2, and I clear Lair 2, that's when I say the early game, and the early game ends when you hit the Ecumenical Temple. The mid-game really is solidly on when you hit the Lair. That's where we are now. The most important defense to secure before this point is resistance to poison. I have secured that. In other words, I'm basically on autopilot at this point to do really well for the rest of my run. That's a Hydra. Hydras are a bad idea to fight unless you're sure you have some means of winning. I can zap it with a fireball, which will be very effective, and I can also use my magic spells, so I'm not too scared to start a fight with that Hydra, though I probably should be more scared than I am. I'm going to open by trying to slow it down, and it won't work. Yeah, it didn't work. Cold should work extra well against reptiles. It missed. Yay! I blasted it to death, and it couldn't do anything about it. Unfortunately, that ate my mana to pieces, but now I have a skeleton Hydra. The key to Hydras is to make sure they don't touch you, because once they touch you, they attack you 4 times, 5 times, however many heads they have per turn. Not very fun. Oh my god, the skeleton won that fight? Jeez, that's a powerful skeleton. So yeah, I'm going to clear this floor, and after that, basically I would have been done. Oh yay! +1 wizard's hat. I put on my wizard's hat. I still need a good staff, something that will boost my power significantly. Preferably a staff of conjurations, but I'd settle for a staff, of wizardry. But now I have a ring of wizardry, which is also part of the reason I can memorize so many more spells above my level and cast them with such ease. I'm pretty sure Spriggan hands don't fit most gloves, so that's another armor class which you don't get to use, but also an armor class you don't get to worry about finding. Notice that my piety with Vehement is at 5 pips now. It's almost maxed out. Once it maxes out, you start getting gifts of books, including the book that contains Isikundurun's Magic Blast, which is why I like leveling his piety early. If I had found the Ecumenical Temple at a usual time on floor 4 or 5, where it probably is, this would almost certainly have been 1 pip higher by now because of the sheer number of enemies I killed after that, which means I would have found my Isikundurun's Magic Blast sooner or later by the time I hit the 2nd floor of the Lair. That's how I figured that even if you don't find what you need by luck, you find it another way. But even when the game screws you, you're okay. Alright, I'm going to summon my allies to my side. That is going to conclude my this part of the run. I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to continue in the next video, the next part of this run until I die. But I want you guys to understand just how much of the game is completed at this point. The early game, the part that gets people killed all the time. I've gone for 20,000 turns. I am a level 12 wizard. I'm going to save the game, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.